Hello, everybody. Thank you all for being here. I am so glad we have the opportunity to do this year. Obviously, when we started the school year, I'm really busy. I know. There was a lot of unknown when the school year started. We actually started the elementary orchestra classes about a month later than we typically would. Simply because we weren't exactly sure how to go around meeting prospective students, how to get them sized for new instruments. There's just a lot of unknown. But thankfully, as we progressed through the year, we were able to, there was more known, and we got closer to normal as we went along. So the group you see in front of you is the fourth grade orchestra. Those of you that do not have fourth grade students and are lucky enough to know, these students actually come to school early for orchestra. They get to school around 7 a.m. Violins and violas come on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. And the cello and bass students come on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays. Which, it's great that we can separate them out because they get a lot of individualized instruction. I play violin and viola with them on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. I play cello with them on Tuesdays and Thursdays, so they all get to see an instrument model that is similar to their own, which is a wonderful thing that I did not always remember to do earlier in my career. I always wondered, why are my cello players not doing well? It's like, because they've never seen anyone play the cello, including myself. So if you look at the program, it might look a little bit different than you might expect a classical music concert to look when it gets to fourth grade. It actually has one long sentence. So for beginners in their first concert, a lot of us in the music profession refer to it as an performance. It is an informative performance. It is not always in the best interests of the students pedagogically to learn many large pieces of music at a young age that perform in a traditional concert. So instead, what we do at the elementary level is we focus on skills, and then we perform things, songs that they've learned along the way, that then show where they reinforced those skills, and that way they can demonstrate them. Now, with beginners, all of our elementary students play out of a book series called Essential Elements for Strings. One of the head authors on it is actually the head orchestra professor at Ohio State. So it's probably like 75% of the orchestra programs in Ohio use this book. It's a great book. We actually started out. There's a method of teaching the violin, which then transferred to all the other instruments, called the Suzuki Violin School. It puts a greater emphasis on the hearing aspect than the reading aspect at first. And it's great for young students because learning to read music is similar to learning how to read a foreign language. So the first thing we did was we learned skills. Some of these skills are very basic. So let's go ahead and show your parents some of the skills we learned. Everyone, show them couch potato position. This is how I found most of them. Gave them an instrument, they're like, bleh. They didn't know what to do with it. So we need to teach them how to sit up straight. And I'm sure some of you are wondering, there's no way my kids know how to sit up straight. They all can. Some of them have to be reminded a lot. Yeah, I just saw Andy wave. He's going home. Your older brother can do too. Alright, so let's show everyone a nice rest position. Sit up nice and tall. Violins and violas are on our laps with our bows. Cellos are sitting up nice and tall. And basses have to stand up. Alright, then we learn how to get our instruments in the playing position. They learn how to do this in 4 easy steps. And I say easy if you're a cello and bass violin, it's terrifying. Because your instrument has to go up in the air. They don't do this anymore, but just to show you. So everyone, show them step 1. I got rid of that one, sorry. Step 2. That's the scary one. Step 3. And step 4. And that is how we get into our playing position, which we did before they mastered it. Now, everyone set your bows down. You're ahead of the game a little bit. You didn't learn how to do that for a couple months. All right, so the first thing we learned how to do is pluck our strings. Everyone, show me a right hand high five. And make a fist. Make an L. The L is because we love coming to orchestra regardless of what time in the morning it is. At least that's what we tell ourselves. Now, swing it around so it touches the side of the fingerboard. All right, now pluck your A string 4 times. 1, 2, ready, go. D string 4 times, ready, go. G string 4 times, ready, go. Now we have to separate out instruments. Violas and cellos, C string 4 times, ready, go. Now violins and basses, E string 4 times, ready, go. All right, so now, after we learned how to pluck, and we learned a bunch of different songs plucking, but we're going to skip over that today because they don't really like doing it, and it's not the most fun thing to listen to either. We learned how to hold our bows. Everyone safely set your instrument on your lap, and I'm going to set down the microphone.
I don't actually need it. I can get real loud. So we learned how to sing a song. Mike, that's kind of odd. This is an orchestra. They're there to play instruments. Well, we sing a little bit. So, the first thing we learned how to do was make a shadow puppet rap with the right hand. Go ahead and make the shadow puppet one. Sorry, not rabbit, llama. Sorry. I used to teach it as a rabbit. Now it's a llama. And they're looking at me like, why are we talking about rabbits? All right. Now we learn a song. You may have heard this song on YouTube sometime. Ready? Set, go. Happy llama, sad llama, totally rad llama, super llama, drama llama, big fat llama llama. That way, we got to practice making a llama, having it move around, do all kinds of things. The biggest thing we talked about was not taking a shadow puppet coyote. The bow coyote eats all of our sheep, and we like our sheep. That's why we have the bow llama to protect our sheep. All right, go ahead, pick up your bows.
We also have a bow song, but we're not going to sing that one tonight. That was how we moved our bow all around our bodies to practice how we held it. All right, so now we're actually going to play 2 quote-unquote songs from the book. This is the D major scale, which is the first scale that all orchestra students everywhere in the world learn first. It's in their book as 2 separate songs. One is called Up the D scale, one is called Down the D scale. We're going to connect them into one second song. So we're going to go up, they're going to pause for a second, we're going to move their eyeballs, and then we're going to come back down. Oh, one other thing that's different for elementary concerts as opposed to classical music concerts, I do not conduct with a baton for them. Their eyeballs are glued to their instruments and their music. It wouldn't mean anything to them. So I actually play my instrument to them as they play their instruments to you. So that way they have that reinforcement of sound from me.
Going to a piece of sheet music, having that, easier level music of only having to use one finger while we move around, match different parts. Makes it a lot easier. But what makes it difficult is the cellos and basses have music that match each other, the violas have music that matches each other, and the violins have music that matches each other. So it's different. They have to learn how to play in parts and create harmonies and build chords. Some of them still get lost a little bit along the way because there are 56 measures, but they're doing a great job, and we're about to see how well it goes tonight.
Orchestra. This class meets during their specials time. They also were able to choose one other special to attend whenever it fell in their class's rotation. Some of them elected to only have orchestra special, and I've seen them every day this year. But don't worry, I don't hold it against your child if they chose another special. I understand. I know I wouldn't have wanted to give up going to gym if it meant playing violin. I probably wouldn't have started playing like that. Yeah, I get it. All right, so this is going to be a little bit more of a traditional style concert. They will be playing 4 songs for you tonight, 3 from that same Essential Elements book, but they're from a very wide range inside that book. And then they are also playing a piece of sheet music at the end, which again uses open strings in the first finger. It's called First Finger Suite. However, you will notice by the sound of it, it is actually significantly more difficult. The rhythms are harder, it changes notes faster, and there are more independent parts than there were in the when you heard the 4th graders play. The amazing thing part about that is in this group, 9 of these students were in orchestra in 4th grade. The rest all joined this year. So they got kind of a fast-forwarded version of orchestra. They've done a great job trying to catch up, and they've done really well. They have learned a lot. They're going to play all 4 songs with their bows. And before I forget, because I've forgotten in past concerts, this is your program, but just a special thank you to all the people that made this concert possible. So to our administrative staff at Unioto Elementary, Mr. Barrows and Mrs. Phillips, to our superintendent, Mr. Thornsberry, to our custodial staff here at the middle school and high school. They set up all of these chairs by themselves this afternoon. And I can never thank them enough. That's why I always help them rack them up at the end when the racks come out. So if you feel so inclined to help us with that, I wouldn't be sad. A little shameless plug right there. And then also to the 4th and 5th grade team. They have been fantastic to work with, whether it was visiting the 4th grade class at the beginning of the year to do some recruiting, finding out by talking to the 5th grade teachers, Mr. Barrows, that we couldn't find the time where I could come to their classrooms because they move around so much. So instead, we sent a recruitment video to them that they showed all their students. And it was great. As you can see, only 9 of these students were in orchestra last year, so we got a lot of participation from that. And that's because their teachers greatly support them having this opportunity, and I'm very thankful for that. And one last thanks to the Unioto Music Department. We're all at each other's concerts. We all help things. You saw Ms. Coyne, our band teacher, jump up here to help me sanitize things. Mr. Elliott, our choir teacher, is in sound booth, making sure that this thing keeps working and that there are lights on the stage so you can see the children's faces, at least from the eyes up. But so you're going to hear them play Tribal Lament, Violin Cabbage Down, and which I got to warn you, you will see Reed do something. I promise he's hitting his bass on purpose, and I told him to do it. He's playing a little bit of slap bass on that song. And then we will have Spy Guy, which is very important because that is uses the note F natural, which gets them outside of what we call the beginner D major hand position. It's a very important skill I want them all to know before middle school. And then the big song, First Finger Sweep. So I will not talk again until after the concert, and I won't be with the microphone in my hand. So thank you all for coming. I hope you've enjoyed it. I know they are terrified, but I'm having fun. Maybe I just bring joy from their pain, but that's a different story. So thank you. I hope you enjoyed. I hope they do a good job.
I ever do it on accident, they come after me. So they do listen to you, at least about something. I promise.
But as they close their books and get out the piece of music, there is one thing I always forget. I totally forgot to mention because this wasn't finalized until today. A handful of you or your children have reached out to me, or for them it's just asking me, if we have any type of summer orchestra program. And the answer was always, we did before last summer when everything shut down. And now the answer is, we do. So our summer strings program will be taking place over 3 weeks in June. I will send dates home with the kids. I'll email them out. I'll put them on our Facebook and Instagram pages. I'll put them everywhere. It'll be on Tuesdays and Thursdays with an elementary class. So all of the 4th grade, 5th grade students are invited. This is not required. They are invited to come to the elementary, same room where they have orchestra right now, from 11 a.m. to noon. There will be 6 total classes. They can come to 1, they can come to 4, they can come to all 6, any combination. Then in the hour after that will be reserved for middle school age students. But that is something I want to make sure I mention tonight because I know some of you have asked me about that. And just found out that we were for sure going to be able to do that today. So I want to make sure I mentioned it before I forgot. There will be more information coming. All right, and now first speaker speak, and then we are done. And you get to all stop being scared. You can breathe.